Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Madeline and this is Made with Books. And today I'm coming at you with another TBR and we'll see how successful I am with this one. This is not my May TBR but more specific for two readathons that are happening in May and that I want to more or less participate in. And I thought I would just let you know A, that these readathons are going on, and B, what I plan on picking up for them. So the first readathon is the Asian readathon, and this readathon is hosted by Cindy from Read with Cindy, and her co-hosts are Sandra from Got a Thing for Things, Chloe from Books with Chloe, Kev from X Reading Solace X, and Elias from Elias Reads. And I will link all of their channels as well as anything else that I'm going to mention throughout the video down below. So there are 5 challenges for this readathon, and the readathon runs from the 1st of May to the 31st of May, so the whole month. And I'm not gonna do the last prompt, which is to read the group book, and that's called 1,000 Beginnings and Endings by Alan O. And that's not because I don't think the book is interesting, but just because I don't own it and I don't want to buy any more books. And then another prompt is to read a book that is either featuring an intersectional Asian character or that is written by an intersectional Asian identity. And what they mean with intersectional is that not only is that person Asian, but they also are in the minority, if you will, in some other categories. So they might be queer, or they might have not only, for example, a Japanese identity, but are Japanese American, or are, I don't know, Sri Lankan and English or whatever, or they are disabled, or they are neurodiverse. So any of those categories. And for that I have picked Guapa by Saleem Haddad. Both the main character and the author are queer. So this is set in the Middle East, and it's about the LGBTQ community in the Middle East. And I've never read anything about it, so I'm just really curious. So as I said, the author is not only Asian, he is also gay as far as I'm aware. And with his Asian identity, there are a lot of different identities that actually play into that. So he was born in Kuwait City to a Lebanese Palestinian father and an Iraqi German mother. And he was educated in Jordan, Canada, and the United Kingdom. So if this doesn't cover the intersectional prompt, I don't know what does. But yeah, I definitely want to pick this one up. The next prompt is to read a graphic novel, and that includes manga and comics and any kind of other medium like that. And for that I'm gonna be reading an Orange Volume 1 by Ichigo Takano. This is deals with sci-fi elements and romance elements, so things I don't usually pick up. But Matthew Shirapa praised this highly, and so I want to check it out. Then the next prompt is to read a book by an Asian author that was originally written in their native language. For this I'm gonna tell you about 3 books, and I'm gonna pick up one of those books for this prompt. I haven't decided. So I might either pick The Accusation by Bandi. This has originally been written in Korean and was smuggled out of North Korea. These are stories about life in North Korea, so that would be really interesting to pick up. Another one is The Vegetarian by Han Kang. So again, this would be translated from the Korean, but it is set in South Korea, so a different country, and this is about a woman who decides to stop eating meat and the mayhem that somehow ensues based on that. And then another option would be a book by an Israeli author, and that would be A Horse Walks into a Bar. This is the German translation though, by David Grossman. And this is about a comedian who tells this story, and according to the back of the book, the audience at the end doesn't know whether they should cry or laugh. and I've heard really good things about this, and I've been meaning to pick it up in forever, so this might be the one for that. And then the final prompt is to read any book by an Asian author. So I'm going to read one of those books for that prompt, then whatever book I don't pick up for the other one. Now you can combine challenges, but there's a caveat. Each book you read for the readathon is supposed to come from a different nationality, either with the characters or with the author, and that's just to ensure diversity, which I think is a great idea. Now there are other books I have on my radar that I might potentially pick up for the Asian readathon, and again, this is in that sense, so like the 4 books for the prompts, those are more or less set, but I also have some other books that I might want to pick up during the month of May, but there's no way I'm gonna read all of these, so I just wanted to show you them to just mention some more of the Asian books on my shelves, which I think are cool. So I have this one by Luna Al-Mousli, and she's a Syrian-Austrian author, and this is, if you translate the title, it would be "When Grandma, Gott and Britney Met in Our Living Room." So this is about the author growing up both in Islam culture. She grew up in Syria, in Damascus, but she also grew up with pop music, so Britney Spears and stuff, and it's just the intersection of these different things. And I've already started reading this, I'm very much enjoying it, and it's beautifully designed. So you have the whole turquoise thing, and I don't know if you can see that, but this is like fabric, and then every page has the turquoise in the middle, between the 2 pages as well. You have some beautiful designs as well in this book, and Luna Al-Mousli actually not only wrote the book, but she also did the whole design for the book, so I think that's just very impressive. Another book that I started reading and that I might pick up throughout the month is, again, this is the German translation, and if you translate, it would be "You Are Not Alone" by Aref Hamza. Unfortunately, as far as I'm aware, both of these books are not available in English, but I think with Aref Hamza, some of his poems might be available in English, so I will have a look, and if I can find any, I will link down below to that. And he is a Syrian refugee who now lives in Germany, and what I really like with this collection is you have the poems both in German and in the original Arabic, which I think is really cool. And again, this book is beautifully designed. This is like a sort of soft fabric thing, so that's really cool. I just like books that are really well done. You can see the publisher put work into it as well. Then some other books that I might read, but we'll see how it goes. One would be White Tiger by Aravind Adiga. This would be from India, and I was supposed to read this years and years ago for a class on the Man Booker Prize that I took when I was in uni. And I started this and I really enjoyed it, but I didn't have time to finish it back then. I know I should have, because it was for a seminar, but yeah, that didn't happen, so maybe I'll pick up this one. I still have these out from the library and I have to return them soon, so maybe I'll try to pick up one Masha Gessen book. This would be Russia, and of course Russia is also partly like on the continent Europe, but the majority of Russia is in Asia, and this is The Future is History, how Russia gained freedom and then lost it again. And then I have A Tale for the Time Being by Ruth Ozeki, and this is set in Japan, and it's 2 timelines, and in one timeline a girl, I think actually the girl in the present might be in the US, and she gets like a bottle out of the sea with like a message or like a box or something, and she starts reading these things, and it's she thinks it's maybe somebody who died during the terrible tsunami in 2011. And then you have the past, where you have the girl that is writing this diary, and that has started at a new school and is being bullied and is contemplating suicide, but wants to write down the story of her grandmother first. So we'll see if I'll end up picking this one up. And another one I might contemplate if I read Frankenstein by Mary Shelley first is Frankenstein in Baghdad by Ahmed. and this is obviously inspired by Frankenstein from Mary Shelley, and it is set in Baghdad, and somebody is like taking human body parts that they find on the streets in Baghdad, because obviously there's like it's a war-ridden city, and there's bombings and stuff, sewing them together, and then there's this monster roaming the streets. So this just sounds really interesting. And then the final one that I definitely want to pick up in the month is, again, this is a German title, and the English translation would be roughly Refuge in Germany. Texts from persecuted authors. So this is an anthology of texts from lots of different authors that came to Germany with the PEN program, and the PEN program is an international one. So if you haven't heard of the PEN, it's short for poets, essayists and novelists, and it's a writers organization that is worldwide working on helping authors, journalists, anybody who's being persecuted for using their freedom of expression. And this collects texts by 20 different authors. Not all of them are from Asia, but a lot of them are. So I'm definitely going to read one text in this collection because I have to. It's and because I want to. It's by a Bangladeshi author named Zobain Zondi, and he is going to come to the area where I live to give a reading, and we are organizing this reading for him. And I said before that I work for a non-profit organization that helps, or is trying to help, authors and journalists who are persecuted. So we have a reading with him, and I'm gonna read the text by him that has been translated into German from this collection in preparation for that. But there's also texts from other countries. There's text in here from Chechnya, there is Syria in here again, Vietnam, Turkey, China, Iran, Kazakhstan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, as I mentioned, and Russia. I will try to read these texts. There's poetry in here, there's like, I don't know if there's short stories or if it's like excerpts from longer pieces, and there's also non-fiction in here, so it's just a wide range of texts. And yeah, I definitely want to pick this one up. And then I did say that there's another readathon going on that I would like to participate. I just realized the Ruth Ozeki book might work for that too if I end up picking it up. But the other readathon that is happening and that I think is great, and that is also a month-long readathon in May, is the Mentalhealth-athon. And that one is being hosted by Nicole from A Beautiful Chaos of Books, Kate from Chapter, and let me get this right, it's 108. I'm sorry, but she uses, it's like chapter and then CVIII, so it's the Latin numbering systems. And then Rachel from Rachel Marie Book Junkie. And yeah, these three are hosting the Mentalhealth-athon, and there's a whole bingo card with 15 different prompts, and I will just link down below to the information on the Mentalhealth-athon and to their channels. And I'm not gonna get into all the prompts because I'm only reading one book for that readathon, and that is also part of my 30 books that I want to read until I'm 30 list, and that is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Kesey. I've watched the movie before, but I haven't read the book yet, and I really want to. And this is set in a mental institution, and apparently it has been inspired by Ken Kesey working what is called the graveyard shift in a mental health facility for some time, and this is one I want to pick up. Now, as you have might have realized by now if you watch my videos, I do TBRs, but then I tend to not necessarily read all the books, so I definitely want to read the 4 books for the Asian readathon, and I definitely want to read the Ken Kesey books, so I'm hoping I can get that done in May. And I will see if I pick up anything else. And yeah, I realized I'd never wrapped up the Irish readathon. I only read some short stories and an essay before for that, so I don't know if I want to make a video about it. If you're interested, comment down below and I'll make it. But otherwise I might just skip it because it's been quite a while already. Yeah, but just let me know if you want to see that. I'm a bit behind on watching everybody's videos, and that's because I was gone for a week. We were on holiday during Easter with my family, so with my mom, my two sisters, their husbands and kids, and it was a lot of fun, but I fell behind with watching videos and I'm like trying to catch up, so that's why if you haven't seen me commenting on your videos lately, that's why. But it was a really fun holiday. We were at the Baltic Sea in Germany, and my oldest sister got married actually, so that was lovely. So this is all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye guys!